Okay.
2-5, 2K effective.
Okay.
Villain is an aggressive rec player that likes to bluff, but I have not seen him bluff 3-bet pots.
Okay.
The other villain is somewhat passive.
Okay, cool.
So villain 1 opens under the gun 1 for 25.
Yep.
2 callers, heroes in the cutoff with king of clubs, queen of clubs.
Okay.
I 3-bet to 130 for all the reasons that you've discussed.
Uh-huh.
The big blind calls quickly.
Cold calls.
Cold calls, yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Villain, original opener calls, and the 2 overcallers fold.
So it's 3 ways, what, maybe 450, something like that?
Yeah, 440 in the middle.
Okay. Yep.
Queen, Jack, 7, rainbow, 1 club.
Queen, Jack, 7, rainbow, 1. So with 1 club. Okay.
The villain checks. I bet 280.
So both villains check, right?
Yes.
There's two, so big blind checks, original guy checks, and you bet 280 into 440?
440, right.
I might check this one back, Dave, to be honest with you. My gut feel, you got the backdoor club draw, it's Queen, Jack, 7. Got a big blind guy that's flat calling, cold calling your 3-bet. I just don't know how King Queen fares here against these particular ranges. It's probably pretty close. And again, as I'll stress, I think a much smaller bet would be better than like a bet of 280 here. I think this is a check, or once again, sort of a small bet of like maybe 150 or something like that. I think 280 is going to be too big, because like, what are you going to get called by here when you bet 280 into 440 in a 3-bet pot?
Yeah, there's a couple draws out there, but no, it's rainbow, so you're right.
Yeah.
Not as good day.
Yeah. I mean, that's just sort of my initial reaction, you know?
Yeah, and if a club comes, then I could, barrel with another larger bet.
Yeah.
If not, kind of see what falls. But
See,
the turn was a jack and brings in a heart draw.
so who called? Sorry,
sorry, they both called.
They both called. Wow.
Yeah.
So the pot now. So the pot now is what, 800. This is like 1280. Okay. Okay.
And the jack pairs and brings a heart draw.
Jack pairs.
Check.
Yep.
Now the villain donks 600.
The guy who raised pre-flop now donks 600.
Yes.
Under the gun.
Under the gun, yeah.
I mean, God. I mean, it's a very strange donk here, because he shouldn't have a lot. He really shouldn't have a lot of jacks in his range, and that's the other thing too with your sizing. I mean, when you look at your flop play, because you bet so large and it's a 3-bet pot, and the guy in the big blind who called pre-called, like, what jacks does this guy have when he overcalls the flop? You know what I mean? Like, it's like there aren't many jacks that he's going to, single pair jacks that he's going to have. But it also looks like a suicide bluff here too. Yeah. And I'm trying to figure out, like, would he ever have a hand like pocket, like some sort of like monster hand, like Queen Jack or pocket 7s that he doesn't want you to check through, so he's going to bet half the pot. And then, I mean, he really shouldn't have kings or aces or ace queen. I mean, could he ever have ace queen here that he didn't want to get checked through here too? Even though he shouldn't have single pair jacks here, I don't know if people run bluffs like this. Plus, you've got the big blind to sort of worry about here too. You are kind of getting a price, so you're getting about 4-1 on the turn. If you call, you guys are gonna. You said you were what, 2,500 effective? Is that right?
About 2K.
2K. So I'm trying to do the math here.
If you big blind bluff.
So if you call here, the pot will be 24, and you'll have 1K left. You have 1K in your stack left, right?
Right.
I think with the pot odds, I think it's probably pretty close. You could call, and that will totally freeze him. And then the big blind is just basically forced to fold. And if big blind calls or raises, you're obviously done. I'm just looking at turn pot odds here. I don't if you call, it sort of freezes him. At the same time, boy, this looks very, very strong. So I think it's probably pretty close. I think you probably could fold, but especially when the big blind is a little bit in the dark. But I'm scared that you might actually be beat by ace-queen here, too. You know, maybe you call with ace-queen and fold king-queen if you're looking for a frequency selector. You know what I mean? Like you said, like this is a check overcall on a 3-bet pot and then a donk on turn. You know, obviously, I guess he could have like ace-10 or ace-king of hearts or something like that, but it's probably pretty close. What did you do?
If the other guy was going to call or not.
What's up?
And I wasn't really getting any sign. I kind of think he was going to call if I called.
Yeah.
You know, tell me what he had after the hand.
Mm-hmm.
And fold if I folded. So I wasn't getting any clear signal from him. I decided to fold.
Okay.
The big blind had ace-king.
So what did the big blind do? He folded?
He folded, yeah.
Okay. Yep.
He said, you know, should have been in 10 on the turn. So I said, what do you have, ace-king? He said, yeah.
Did you ever figure out what the villain had?
No, he didn't show.
Yeah, I don't hate the fold, honestly.
The other times that he bluffed, he
Yeah.
always turned his cards over and
Yeah.
them on the table. He
Yeah.
did not do it this time, which makes me think it was a value hand.
It's just sort of strange though for him to overcall with a jack. You know what I mean? Like when you look at the fact that you 3-bet pre and then the big, I don't know who the big blind is, but was he like an older guy or who was the big blind?
Big blind was a younger guy. And this was during the holiday season, so they're real recreational players.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, like, when you look at a guy that flat calls your 3-bet cold in the big blind pre and then calls your bet on the flop,
yeah, and he's doing that with 2 overs.
it's crazy because like that, nobody in the middle should ever really bluff in that spot. There's so much strength going on. There's so much strength going on that it sort of allows you to fold king queen here. You know what I mean? But like the guy who's the initial raiser should never overcall with a jack here. When you c-bet the flop in a 3-bet pot and the big blind who cold call pre calls the flop bet. But if you're saying that they're recreational, maybe he does have a jack, but that's more hands you lose to. But you know what I'm saying? Like if you do the hand reading, this guy should never really have a jack. But you still have to worry about the big blind behind you, so I don't hate the fold at all.